Okay, so today in this lesson, what we're going to do is we're going to access Unity from any computer. So that could be a Chromebook, that could be a PC, it could be a Mac. We're going to do that through a virtual desktop. And so I'm going to walk you through that process starting right now. So we're going to go to a website called frame.nutanix.com, and we're going to sign in with our Google accounts. Now, what we're going to do in this process is we're going to use our Glenbrook Google accounts. And once we are there, we're going to have to accept the authorization, and then we're going to click on this desktop link right here. So this desktop link is going to start a new session. Now, this may take a few minutes. There are limitations to what we can do here, largely having to do with saving. We're going to talk about that in a future video. So today, the goal is to just get started and open up Unity. That is the sole thing that we're trying to do today. So once once the virtual desktop has opened, you're going to see a number of different options, and you're going to see Unity Hub. Now, we're actually not going to open Unity Hub. We're going to open directly into Unity 2019.3.10 F1. And so the reason that we're doing that is because that is actually going to open Unity Hub, but it's going to sort of automatically help the system find the version of Unity that we're wanting to use. Now, there's a few things that we're going to have to do every time that we launch this up. And so the first thing that we're going to do right here is we're going to click on Sign In. Now, at the beginning of the semester, we created Unity accounts. If you scroll down, you won't see it at first, but if you scroll down, there's a Sign In with Google. So we're going to use our Glenbrook Google accounts in order to do this. So let me go ahead and 225.org. I'm going to click enter, then type in your password, and then click sign in. Now you'll notice there's a little bit of lag because there's some latency in between your computer and then the virtual desktop. So that's to be expected. Once you're logged in, you should see your initials up here. If you look at installs, you'll see 2019.3.10 F1. That's why we clicked on the application instead of Unity Hub to start. And then the next thing that we're going to do is go into projects. We're going to try to click add, but you're probably going to get not add. We're going to click new, and you're going to get a message. If you try to do this, I'm just going to do it right away, that says there's an error. You can't find the license. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go into this settings button right here. We're going to go to license management, and we're going to activate a new license. And we're going to say Unity Personal. We're going to say I don't use this in a professional capacity. And we're going to click done. It'll sort of process, and then we're good. So now we can go back here, and we're going to go to new. And for this project, we're going to save everything today just to our desktop. Now, this is not how we're going to do it in the future, but for now, we're just going to save it to the desktop. We'll click select, and we're just going to call this project 1. We're going to choose the 2D template, and we'll go ahead and click create. Now, we're going to have to do these steps every single time because the virtual desktop, it doesn't save any of our settings. It's basically spinning up a fresh install every single time. Now, there are ways that we can save our work so that we're not having to start fresh every single time, but the initialization of the software, the logging into your Unity account, which is something that we usually only have to do like once at the beginning of the semester, is something that we're going to have to do every single time. So you're actually going to want to sort of re-watch that section of the video because logging into your account and then activating a license is something that we're going to do every single time. And remember, we're going to open up the Unity application, not Unity Hub, because if you just open up Unity Hub, you're then going to have to tell Unity Hub where the application is. So we can skip that step by just opening up the application from the desktop right off the bat. Now, you may recall that Unity takes a little bit of time to open the first time that you do that. And so since we're spinning up a fresh machine every single time that we launch this virtual desktop, it's going to take a little bit of time. But in 2 to 3 minutes, we'll have like an actual real version of Unity. Now, one other thing that we're going to do differently in this e-learning phase is we're going to use sort of the default project window as it's set up. So normally we use like the Freeman layout where we have the scenes view up top, the game view below or panel, and then the project and console at the bottom right, and then the inspector and the hierarchy in the top right. we're just going to do the default setup right now so that we can get a sense for how this all works. Now, one thing that you'll notice, if you look back at the desktop right here, Project 1, this folder has been added because I saved to the desktop. Now, this is a PC environment, which is different than our Mac environment that you may be used to, but there should be pretty similar things, and you should be able to adjust pretty quickly. We're going to, now that this is open, we're going to skip this new version, and we're going to see that we have Unity like we're used to seeing it. There are some differences in terms of the layout right here. Now I could readjust everything, but since it's going to go back, I'm not going to waste that time. So I have my scenes panel here. I have my game panel right here. I've got my hierarchy. I've got the inspector panel right here. So if I click on the hierarchy, I can see these are all the different settings for the game object that I have selected. And so if I click right here on the background color, just as an example, I could go ahead and I could change that to something, besides the default color that it always is. Now, if I go to File, Save, I have to think about where this is being saved. For today, all you need to know is that it's saved to the desktop. In the future, I will show you how to save it, save something so that if you wanted to open up and sort of have an ongoing project, you can do that. What we're going to do now is we're going to go to File, we're going to go to Exit, and you'll see that the project is still right here. In this current session, I could go back to Unity right here, and then I could reopen Project 1 right here, because this is still that same session. But sessions will time out after about 10 minutes, and so don't sort of leave and do something else because you'll lose your work. You don't want to do that. So this isn't the best solution, but it's a great solution given the circumstances that we find ourselves in. So I'm going to exit one more time and then show you how to sort of log out of the virtual desktop that we find ourselves in. I can click right here in this setting, and then I can click disconnect. Now, once I disconnect, all of the work that I have saved to this virtual desktop will disappear. Again, in a future lesson, I'll show you how to save that to your Google Drive. So I'm going to disconnect. I'm going to read that and say, yep, okay, disconnect. And now I am out of the virtual desktop, and I can just exit out of this tab. Okay, so go ahead and just get into the habit and figure out how the virtual desktop environment works. And that is our lesson for today. We will see you next time.